Okay, everyone, welcome to the webinar presentation this morning. I'm Brett Kinsella. I'm the founder of VoiceBot.ai. I think I know many of the people who are attending today, but definitely not all of them. So welcome. I'm looking forward to being connected to all of you. A couple things that we should say. So first of all, the focus today is on Speechly and their US launch, which is today for their new product. And we're going to talk about a new voice UI for the web. And there's some really interesting things that are going on here. Now, I've said in the past, some of those of you who followed me, that the largest digital surface area out there is the web, and nobody's really talking about it from a voice standpoint. So I've been on this bandwagon now for, I think, about 6 months. During that time, I got to know the folks at Speechly as well. So they've been pushing this themselves and have some really unique solutions there. So if we think about it in terms of the largest surface area on the web, right? Think about how many mobile apps there are that are used on a regular basis and how many websites there are used on a regular basis. We're talking about 2 orders of magnitude more from the web. And mostly we're talking about voice assistants either in mobile apps and even in a smaller deployment, which is smart speakers or maybe the car. None of those actually rival the web. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So I have a couple quick things for everybody. So first of all, if you want to do follow up on this conversation, you can always go to the VoiceBot Discord, VoiceBot Community Discord, and you can just find that at voicebot.ai/Discord. We'll be talking about these topics and more coming up over the next couple of weeks. And so that'll be a great place to engage. And in that, we're going to actually do a special event next Tuesday, which you can just look at my Twitter at Brett Kinsella after this. And we're going to do a deep dive on some of our smart speaker reports. We have 3 smart speaker reports out recently. We're going to do that in Discord. So you can find out more after this. But today we really want to focus on Speechly, and we want to focus on the company that Otto and Antti and Colin are all building together in order to bring voice into our web experience. And there's a lot of places where it has a really big impact. They're going to talk about e-commerce, they're going to talk about web apps, and they're going to talk about specifically how there's a different model here. You saw maybe some of the promotion we did around this, no more turns. Well, they're going to talk specifically about what that means in the voice UI and some of the things that we've come to expect and some of the things that we have maybe thought of as requirements aren't necessarily requirements. There's a different way to do this, and that's what we're going to focus on today. So without further ado, I want to introduce Otto Söderlund, who is the founder or co-founder and CEO of Speechly. Otto, why don't you take it away?
Hello, everybody. Great to meet you and great to see that there's so many people here. I can see 122 participants, so it's an amazing crowd. Awesome. So my name is Otto. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Speechly. I'm a tech entrepreneur with a background in AI, and I run our business related topics at Speechly. I was supposed to have this session today hosted together with my co-founder Hannes, but he is actually today in the hospital because his wife has just given birth to his first son, newborn. So today is a great day for us. It's not only our big US launch, but it also is a day when we can welcome a new small second generation Speechly baby to the family. So this is an exciting day for all of us. So Hannes is the technical co-founder at Speechly. And before Speechly, Hannes was a search engineer at Google and a language engineer at Apple. Our third co-founder, Janne, who is responsible for our ASR, used to work at Amazon doing ASR for Alexa. And today, I have a couple of our team members here with me today. So Colin and Antti, please introduce yourselves.
Hey, so my name is Colin. I actually started getting involved in the voice community while working at VaynerMedia. And from there, I started investing into early stage voice tech companies at a venture firm called VoicePunch, which is where I had the chance to meet the team at Speechly and eventually joined the team earlier this year, where I now head up business development efforts here in the US.
Yeah, hi, my name is Antti. I'm the Chief Product Officer at Speechly. In my previous life, I was for about 15 years a machine learning researcher at various academic institutions as well as Yahoo Labs. But now for a couple of years at Speechly. Nice to meet you all.
Great, thanks guys. So what is Speechly? In short, Speechly is a fast, accurate, and simple voice API for the web and for mobile. In this session, instead of trying to explain that to you, we will actually be showing this to you in practice. What we all have in common today in this webinar is excitement around the topic of voice. And while voice has been hyped for a long time and we've seen amazing adoption curves, I think everybody can agree that the sad truth is that we still haven't really been able to realize the dreams that we've all been dreaming of. And most people still use voice for quite mundane things and basic things like, setting kitchen timers, playing music from Spotify, or turning on their lights in their kitchens or living rooms. There's so much more promise in voice, but those promises really haven't been yet fulfilled. Why is that? We at Speechly believe that the reason for that one is actually quite simple. Man has created technology to make life simpler and more efficient. Now, if you think about the conversational assistance experience today, neither of these goals have really been accomplished, or has it? In this webinar, we're going to show you firsthand why this is so and what the solution for this is that we believe will enable a brighter future for voice. And we're going to start by showing you a couple of demo videos. So Colin, stage is yours.
Yeah, thanks for that intro, Otto. So in the demos today, we will be focusing on two heavily discussed voice tech use cases. And this is e-commerce search and then flight booking. But given our horizontal platform approach, you can think of these demos at an even higher level as demos of simply voice search or voice for data input. And to really show the efficiency and the speed of the Speechly approach to voice, I'll be showing side-by-side demos of voice assistant and Speechly experiences, both trying to complete the same task. So we will start with e-commerce search and searching for a Samsung TV using the multimodal Alexa skill from Best Buy that you can find on an Echo Show device.
How can I help you today?
Search for TVs.
Sure. I have search results for TVs. There are currently 498 items in this list. You can narrow it if you'd like. Do you want to narrow the list by price, brand, or both?
Both.
Okay, let's start by narrowing by price. What's the most you want to pay for the product?
$750.
And what's the least you expect to pay?
$400.
Okay, now let's narrow by brand. Most people choose these brands for TVs, Best Buy brands, LG, and Samsung. Would you like to include one or more of those?
Samsung.
Okay, now let's narrow by brand. Most people choose these brands for TVs, Best Buy brands, LG, and Samsung. Would you like to include one or more of those?
One.
Okay, now let's narrow by brand. Most people choose these brands for TVs, Best Buy brands, LG, and Samsung. Would you like to include one or more of those?
Yes.
Do you want to include products by Best Buy brands?
Oh my God. No.
Do you want to include products by LG?
No.
Do you want to include products by Samsung?
Yes.
You can include a brand of your choice. Do you want to do that?
No.
You now have 21 results for TVs by the brands, Samsung, and between $400 and $750.
So thanks for hanging in there. But as you can see, it takes over 2 minutes to return over 20 results and doesn't really add efficiency or simplicity to the task of searching for a TV. If anything, it actually makes this task even more complicated. So now let's take a look at the same search task being accomplished using Speechly. Show me Samsung TVs from $400 to $750. So that was pretty quick. And you can see that the value of eliminating the need for conversation and focusing on the user task becomes obvious when seeing a comparison like this. But in order to really see the actual reaction speed of Speechly, I want to slow down the demo that you just saw. So if you watch this, you can notice how the site actually reacts instantly to the utterance as it turns green. It's at the same speed that you would expect a touchscreen to react to a swipe or a tap. And this is our approach to e-commerce search. Next, we're going to look at the task of booking flights. Although this is a heavily discussed use case, United has the only skill available using Alexa. So here's the United experience using the Alexa mobile app.
How can I help you?
Book a one-way flight from Detroit to Miami.
Is this a one-way trip or round trip?
One way.
When do you want to leave? Please tell me the specific date.
June 18th.
We're still processing your request. If you want to keep waiting, please say yes. Otherwise, say no.
I would say no. And disregard that you can't actually book a ticket using this experience, but it took over 30 seconds to get to that point in the first place. Now, again, let's look at the same task being accomplished in a mobile site using Speechly. Book a round trip flight from Detroit to Miami for July 1st and returning on July 10th. And can you do that in business class and direct only? Again, it is easy to see the value of a voice interface when you strip the need for conversation and focus specifically on the user task at hand. And these are live demos, so please feel free to actually go to our site, test them out, and try them for yourself. Thank you. Back to you, Otto.
Thanks, Colin. So, what is the take-home message from these videos? Instead of trying to enable a conversation, we're actually trying to enable the user to finish the task that they want to do as directly, as simply, and as fast as possible. I guess it has been this dream of humans to be able to interact with computers like they would with other humans. But the fact is that we are not there yet. Meanwhile, today, people have bills to pay, groceries to buy, pizzas to order, clothes to buy, flights to book, Netflix films to watch, reports to fill, and so on. And all of these ones are great use cases for voice. So let's concentrate on getting the tasks done first, instead of trying to solve the conversation. Another myth and obsession we have when it comes to voice is the idea of voice only. For some tasks, voice only does make sense when the user really doesn't have access to their hands or their eyes, but these situations are a lot less common than you would think. When you want something done, people will concentrate on that task and they will want to be able to see, they will want to be able to speak, and they will want to be able to touch to perform the task with maximum speed and efficiency. So why make performing the tasks artificially harder by limiting to voice only? Now, finally, we come to the title of today's webinar, No More Turns. Referring to the previous point of multimodality, when you have both voice and visual, you are set free from the need to take turns. The human brain is wired so that you can process visual information as you're speaking, but you cannot be speaking and listening at the same time. So going from a verbal response to a visual response, you in effect double your brain's cognitive bandwidth, essentially going from half duplex to full duplex, enabling those kinds of high speeds you saw in the demos. And the final point here that we want to make is that when you free yourself from the idea of conversational assistants, you free yourself from the limited access and limited control of these assistant platforms. Both of the speech demos we showed you were running on the web, which is an open platform where you are in full control of the features, your brand experience, and your data. Doing conversational assistants is very hard in contrast to the type of direct experience we showcased in our demos. You don't need an army of conversational designers or a full-fledged assistant platform. The Speechly experience can be built directly on top of your sites or applications, web form or search experience by your existing team. A couple of slides back, we promised to provide you with why voice hasn't really broken through and what the solution should be. Well, here it is. In essence, it's the same features that have enabled our industry to capture the mindshare originally, that has brought it to the wider attention of the public, that have actually in essence become the limitations. And by being able to go and think beyond these features, we are able to finally, as an industry, deliver on some of the promises that we have given the public in the past and actually show the real power of voice technology. But what makes all of this possible? The idea behind speech technology is that instead of making sense of what the user said after they've stopped speaking, the system should be able to start making sense of what the user says the second they start to speak. This is crucial for the fast feedback you saw on those speech demos. The idea here is that we establish a much faster feedback loop between the user and the computer compared to the traditional assistants or conversational platforms. While they process speech in a sequential manner, starting from speech to text, then proceeding to natural language understanding, then figuring out how to respond to the user, and eventually giving some kind of response to the user and hoping that the task will be a success. Now, the sequential nature of this processing significantly increases the risk of failure for the whole process and leads to these kinds of frustrating experiences that I'm sure that everybody on this webinar has personal experiences from. I do. Now, the Speechly approach is different. Because of the faster feedback loop, the user interface guides the user better and steers the user towards the completion of the task faster. And the result is a faster success and less costly failures because the failures are spotted earlier on. You can think of this idea a bit like comparing waterfall to agile in software development. In an error-prone task such as verbal communication, the feedback loop should be very tight. In fact, some of you might have noticed that the exact same type of diagram is actually used in software development to describe the differences between waterfall and agile. So the core technology of Speechly is fully proprietary. And to the best of our knowledge, there is no other voice company that has streaming spoken language understanding capabilities. That is technology that starts to make sense of what the user says the second they start to talk. It's a technology that hasn't been very easy to build, but fortunately our team consists of amazing machine learning PhDs who have been building the previous generations of voice technology. And we have actually spent the last 5 years researching the complicated deep learning problems that one needs to solve to be able to build something like the technology we built. To give you guys some idea of the accuracy of our technology, here's a chart that displays our API speech recognition accuracy against Google's on the openly available Air Travel Information System, or ATIS for short, datasets. The unit of measurement here is word error rate, where smaller is better. Unlike Google and basically all the other technologies out there, Speechly comes out of the box with flexible and easy to use in-domain adaptation. The bar on the middle is Speechly's accuracy with text-only adaptation. And the bar on the right, Speechly has been further adapted with 20 hours of in-domain audio. And from the plot, you can see that we are around 40 to 60% more accurate than Google on this industry standard benchmark. If you're interested to learn more, check out our paper in this year's Interspeech conference. It's already available today at ArcSieve.